community, our hometown. This is Kearney Live on 102.7 FM, our hometown radio station. Kearney Live is presented by Kearney Trust, 310 West 92 Highway in Kearney, 816-628-6666. And now here's the hosts of Kearney Live, Mike Davis and Jim Dickerson.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's our live studio audience. Thank you very much, and welcome to Kearney Live, the most popular show on the planet. You thought, yep. You thought I was going to say Kearney. No. This thing gets out all over the world. And in case you don't believe us, all you got to do is jump on our website, 1027KearneyMo.com, and click on the Play Live Here button. And you can listen to this program if you have an internet, right, Brian?
That's right.
Anywhere on the planet. And we have listeners, no kidding, in Germany, Alaska, places unknown.
Well, they're all over the world.
That's right. So we're not kidding when we say all over the world. In any case, so glad to have you with us today. I am so excited, number one, to let you know that our guests, we've got 3 of them in here. How exciting. Actually, 4, if I could count. Thank you, Gerri. Gerri Spencer's one of them, and she's a frequent guest, and she's one of the amazing Chamber of Commerce board members, and you do so many other things with the city and aldermen. We love you. Yes, and so does this audience. And we love you, the audience. Yes. So this whole Jesse James Festival, listen, I'll tell you why it excites me. And Gerri, you and I have had this conversation, but I like the fact that we can leverage the Jesse James history as promotional material, frankly. You're right there, frankly. Yeah, the Frank James, get that? Yeah, right. I don't think anybody else got that. If you have to explain the joke, it's not funny. But in all that to say, I think it's really cool that we are living this whole Jesse James Festival. It is, guess what, the 50th Jesse James Festival here in Kearney, Missouri. And with us today, I've got Dan Colt. He is the president of the Jesse James Festival Committee. And Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And along with Dan, we've got Dixie Thomas, right? Yep.
Yes.
Hi. There's Dixie. Yes, I told you. See, listen. You like that applause? That's the live studio audience. They're in another room, though. You may not see them in here. There it is. Right? There it is. It's impressive. That's all for you, Dixie.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You are the treasurer, which means you keep track of all the money, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you have to count it? I mean, how do people pay? Anybody pay in gold, in bullion, anything like that?
No.
Bitcoin or anything like that? Weird? No?
No, usually everybody's pretty good.
Yep. Right. Regular American currency. And,
yes.
Checks.
Yeah. Sometimes checks.
Credit cards.
We have a problem. Sometimes people think that there's an ATM or we can take debit cards when they come out to the festival, and there is no ATM. We're not able to take debit cards. You need to bring cash.
I'm glad I asked. I was just being silly.
No, you need to bring cash.
Well, there you go. So this, you know what? That's happened to me a number of times because I'm one of those guys. I don't carry cash. I just don't. Although I think I may have $15 on me right now because, I don't know, maybe I'll buy Brian lunch. Woohoo! Go over to Stables and get some pretzel bites.
There you go.
Something like that. Well, okay, that's good to know. So bring your cash. All right, well, let's get busy. There are, first of all, the whole Jesse James 50th Festival was scheduled for September 10th through the 19th. Now, we know for a fact that the events of the 10th and the 11th last weekend are behind us.
Correct.
And we will perhaps in fact, I think we will be talking with Stephanie DePringer. Thank you. I needed the pronunciation, and Brian whispered it. Thank you, Brian. And Stephanie will be on, I think, the second half of the show. She's going to talk about it. She's the chairperson of the 5K, 10K, and we can talk a little bit about the results of that and how that played out. But in the meantime, Dixie, walk us through the events that are coming up. I have this for those of you at home who are watching. This brochure is from the folks here at the Jesse James Festival, and when you open it up, no kidding, there is a lot going on. And if we can finish all of this and talk about every item on here, I'd be surprised. So I would say, let's get down to business here. Let's start with tomorrow night or anything. Is there anything going on today?
No, today's just set up out at the grounds. Tomorrow the carnival will open. So gates open at 6 o'clock. And they are selling armbands this year. So come on out and enjoy the carnival.
What is the armband for?
You can ride any of the rides as many times as you want to.
Oh, I see.
Without buying separate tickets.
Well, that makes sense. And so it would be a value then, I guess, to get the $20 armband.
Depending on how many rides you want to ride, yes.
Is it? I'm curious about the demographic. Is it mostly the young people that ride a lot of rides, or is it, I know the answer to this.
Most of the time, young, yes.
I don't even care to ride a Ferris wheel anymore.
Me neither.
You know, I
No.
know. I have trouble going up and down stairs. You know, think about that. So what else is going on at the carnival? Is it just rides or what? Cotton candy?
Oh, yes. They have all kinds of cotton candy and
Get me excited about it. I mean, I tell me what if I'd never seen anything like this before. Tell me what I would walk into if I went to the carnival.
I think you would probably, they have games you can play where you throw the darts at the balloons, I'm sure, and all of the different games that you can.
And prizes.
And prizes you can win. And then
like stuffed animals?
Uh-huh.
See, this is what I like. This reminds me of my childhood or
Yes.
my somewhat, I guess adolescence, when it was really fun. You got out there with your friends. And I think it was about like the first time in your life that your parents sort of trusted you to go out there and be in public with your friends and not make a fool of yourself.
Well, it'll be a good time. This is a new carnival this year. So we're hoping that everything runs well and everybody has a good time.
I hope that too. And we've got Dan Colt. Dan, you're the president of this whole thing. Tell me about 50 years. Now, how does a thing continue that long? What's the key to your success here?
I really don't have any idea. No, just kidding.
You scared me for a minute. Okay, this is going to be a tough show for me today, folks.
It's not without its challenges. We're a nonprofit group of volunteers. We're not funded by any county, state, city funding. We're a 501c3. We depend on our sponsorship. We depend on our gate, and we depend on our volunteers on the festival committee to put this whole thing on. And it's been going like that for 50 years now. So we are somewhat of a family as a group to put this thing on, and it has been over 50 years. Sometimes dysfunctional, but
it's pretty normal.
But
though.
it works.
You mentioned a family, yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's a want-to thing. You got to want to do it for your community, and once it's all over with, it's a good feeling to see how the kids had a great time and all the other events that people see and enjoy.
Right. We've got Dan Holt. Sorry, I just did it. I knew I was going to do that. Dan Colt. Sorry, Dan, president of the Jesse James Festival Committee in here with us. Now, you said you don't have any idea, and I know you're kidding with me, and you were messing with me. I saw that. But I think anybody that can keep any organization going for 50 years, I think back on that, and I barely remember 50 years ago, but that would have made me about a teenager. And yeah, and that goes way, way back. So all that to say, how does this thing change hands generationally? I mean, because it clearly has changed at least one generation, right?
Oh, yes.
So how do you sort of pass the baton to the next generation, and why on earth would somebody say, you know what, I want to be a part of that?
You've got to be really careful who you pass that torch to. And I'm not going to say that, I've been successful because I was deserving of it, but, the people that surround you make you what you are. And once you realize that, and if you want to be in a leadership position with this committee, you're going to depend on those folks.
Right. And is this a thing you do year round? By the way, is this?
We're involved year round.
Yeah. Okay. So this is your full-time job.
It seems like it sometimes, yes.
All right. So by that, I'll gather you have another source of income. Or,
Yes.
All right. Okay,
Yes,
well,
I do.
I know that feeling.
This doesn't pay very well.
Neither does this. Funny. Yeah, I know. Well, nonetheless, I think there's a lot to be said for the tradition, and you think, even thinking back on 50 years in Kearney, Missouri, the changes that have happened citywide and in the county. I mean, for all of us. I mean, we've all seen it over the last 50 years. If you're that old, you've seen some incredible changes, and I think the thing that I really enjoy about this is there's a sense of Americana. I think about an event like this. It has an historical significance. How much how much emphasis is put on the actual namesake of this, on the Jesse James Festival?
I think it's just like you say, it just gives us recognition. And when you think of Jesse James, you think of rodeo, you think of old times.
Bank robbers.
Yeah, bank robbers. Hence to lead into the comedy gunfight show we've got coming on this year. I think it all kind of revolves around that era, and it just gives us recognition.
That's a neat segue. I want to talk about the comedy gunfight. Now, most gunfights aren't that funny. I'm just curious, what makes this one so funny?
Well, we went to the Missouri Association of Fairs and Festivals conference in January. The committee does, and we look at acts that they have down there. And we found this act when we were down there, and we're really looking forward to seeing it. It looks like it's going to be an optional, just a really great show.
So these are real actors.
Yes.
Specific to this one, the gunfight, right? And so these people go out of their way, or they get paid, obviously, then I would imagine.
Oh, yes. Nobody comes for free.
Right? No, hardly anybody does anything for free anymore. So they will show up and be a part of this thing, and do you have any idea how it plays out? I mean, do you know how long does it last, for one thing?
Well, I think they'll do 3 to 4 shows a day.
I see. Okay.
And they're probably 20, 30-minute shows. So if you miss one of the show periods, there'll be another one coming up. So just make sure you stick around.
So when you say stick around, where will this thing will a gunfight just ensue at some place? Then how's this happen?
No, they have a whole town that they set up as a prop.
Like an old West town.
So you'll see a definite area where the gunfight's going to take place.
So people will know to gather around and be ready for this funny gunfight.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to ask, how funny was it? You've seen it.
Well, we've just seen partial clips.
Oh, I see.
Nothing extensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It feels like a thing I've got to see.
Oh, yes.
It's
hopefully everybody will want to. And there's no admission for these shows that go on during the grounds, during the festival. So once you pay your parking fee of $10 a car, you can come in and enjoy the different acts that we have.
You can wander about aimlessly.
Right.
It's sort of like I do.
Yes.
Yes, I know the feeling. Okay, so, and there's a couple of other things here, more than a couple, and I could read this whole thing off, but I'm not going to do that. I am curious because I see there's a cook-off, which we are familiar with. Who doesn't like food? Pretty much nobody doesn't like it. Tell me about the cook-off. What's that all about?
The barbecue?
That's what it says, cook-off, so I'm going to gather yes.
Yes. Yeah, this is a barbecue contest that Larry Pratt helps put on every year. He has several of the barbecuers that are annuals that come every year, and they have several judges that come on site and judge the barbecue, and I believe they have a kids barbecue too contest.
Really? Where kids actually do the cooking?
Yes.
No kidding.
So it'll be very interesting, and it always makes the ground smell good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Okay, so Dan, what has been your experience? I want to, as far as the barbecue goes, the barbecue cook-off contest, how do you get involved in that?
Well, just assisting the barbecuers in any way we can.
Well, you know where I'm going with this. Do you get to sample any of the delicious barbecue?
If you're not looking, I'll walk around and grab something every once in a while. Over the years, I've got to know a lot of these folks that come to this. They come every year, and some of these people are some of the top-notch. They go nationwide with their team, and it's not just a bunch of guys getting together and saying, "Hey, let's do this." They've got some very expensive equipment and campers, very nice setups that they.
So these are teams that one might have seen perhaps at the American Royal?
Most definitely, but then again, on the other side of it, you've got your guys that get together and throw this thing at the last minute and just have a good old time.
Yeah. What's your favorite barbecue product?
Brisket.
Oh, yes, yeah. And I have seen these guys, and I remember years ago going down to one of the, you used to be able to walk in, I guess you still can, at the American Royal, and I can remember a lot of these guys started cooking, a night or two before, and these things would go on all night long. Is that sort of what we could expect here? Yeah.
They come in on Friday night, and they cook all night, and they're judged on Saturday. And I want to remind everyone that we're still taking applications for the barbecue contest up to the time it starts practically. Just get on our website, jessejamesfestival.com, go to contacts and call Larry Pratt, and he'll hook you up.
So if Brian wanted to enter the barbecue contest, he could. Yes, he's shaking his head, yes. Well, that's good. All right. Well, that clearly it's hard for me to not talk about food, especially since it's lunchtime. But stay with us. You're listening to Kearney Live. We're talking about the Jesse James Festival, which is ongoing currently. And it's going to get even better through the rest of this week. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Always remember to thank the underwriters for their support of KPGZ.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. The world has become fast-paced, and we understand that you are busy. That's why we offer a banking experience that's as simple and stress-free as can be. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. You may just be getting off the ground or ready to move into your brick and mortar building. Kearney Trust will provide you and your business with the resources you need to succeed. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Kearney Live. Yes, it's live. We're not kidding. Right now, and we are simulcasting on Facebook, on our Facebook page, 102.7 FM's Facebook page, and you can watch this. But you know what? If you're not watching it now, when you get home, you can, because it'll be right there waiting for you. Just go. All you got to do is click the play button. It's that simple. And we're talking today about the Jesse James Festival, and I'm sitting here thinking, what would Jesse James himself be thinking that would he have ever dreamed that there is this amazing event that goes on in Kearney and has been going on for 50 years. Dixie, what do you think? What would he possibly be thinking?
Oh, I have no idea.
Neither do
can't
I.
imagine.
That's why I asked you. I know. Well, it's fascinating, though, the 50 years. I mean, there's something that's really special about that. I didn't realize that this was the 50th year.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, we've had one every year. Unfortunately, last year we had to cancel because of the COVID situation. So this year we're back and we're going to be going strong. And hopefully everybody will be able to come out and enjoy the weekend.
Okay, so Thursday we talked about the carnival, and you can get an armband for $20, which means you can ride every single ride on there as many times as you want to. You crazy people, you kids acting up out there. I know how you are. And then I saw on Friday we talked about the cook-off, and that would be, it says cook-off, but you know what? It's a barbecue contest. It's a competition. And so there's lots of stuff going on there, and you know what? It's still not too late. You can sign up right up to the last minute if you want to get involved in this barbecue contest. The other thing that I saw here with regard to eating is we talked about, did we talk about the kids being out there? A kids barbecue contest, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. There is a kids barbecue contest that's judged on Saturday as well.
Don't judge me. I know it. How exciting is that? So actually, who are the judges? Do we know?
It's just people within the community. So,
all right.
Yeah.
It seems that's sort of an honored position and maybe a lucky position, too.
I'm sure so.
Or do you think by the end of the day, after you've sampled, hundreds maybe of pieces of different kinds of barbecue, you might be tired of it?
I don't know. I don't know if you could ever get tired of barbecue.
I think I would agree.
Yeah.
And Dan, I'm sorry I can't get off the barbecue, but what are the different categories? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's just like any barbecue contest. You have your pork, you have your ribs, you have your. I don't have the details. I'm not involved in it. As far as the competition goes, but same rules apply.
I just want to talk about food: beans, chicken. Is there any pie? Any desserts? No,
I don't recall.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. No, everybody know. And everybody say, "Are you a fool?" Yes, I am. Okay, so then what happens next? We've got from 9 a.m. Okay, that's Friday. That's the cook-off registration. And I'm seeing as it goes into the day, further on, we're talking about the kids. This is Friday, September 17th. And then at 6 p.m., there's a woodchucks, C-H-U-X. Yeah, that's how they spell it. Axe throwing from Liberty. What's that all about? Dixie, do you know?
Yeah, we had this act out the last festival that we had, and they bring out a trailer, and they have knives, and they have the stars, and they have the axes that you can try to hit the target.
Should we warn people not to try this at home?
Probably.
Yeah. You throw any chainsaws or anything like that? You're never going to see anything like that? No. Spears?
This is
crossbows?
Yeah, it's a free event, so like I say, come out and give it a try.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I've seen that though. I think it's an event that it has a sort of a Scottish tradition, the axe throwing thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that. The guys in the kilts out there, and they throw these things. Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah.
So Bryant's got his on right now, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. Nobody believes it. Okay, so that's we've got that, and then we've got the Nick's Barnyard Buddies Petting Zoo. What do we have, like wild animals in that? Any giraffes or anything like that? Elephants in the petting zoo? No?
No, he's got quite a variety. We've had them out at the past festivals, and the little kids really enjoy it.
Yes, little goats and stuff.
Yes, they have all kinds of
little goats that bounce up and down. Yeah, those are cute.
And sheep, and they can feed them. And it's just to get
donkeys,
familiar with them.
Yeah, Shetland ponies. Yeah, I'm picturing it right now.
It's a lot of fun.
I know. I wish I had them in my backyard right now. That would be cute. They would eat all the grass. And then at 6 to 10 p.m., it says the carnival opens. We talked about that. There's a festival dance and the Michael Neal Band. Dan, have you heard these people?
I saw them on YouTube, Facebook. They sound pretty good. I know that they're very popular. They have a fan base that follows them. So I haven't seen them live yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing them.
What kind of music? Just music popular music people would recognize?
Yeah, a little country rock, rock, stuff that's very popular.
Sorry, I had to take a drink of coffee there, Dan. You left me hanging, buddy. All right. Now I got to set my cup down. This is what happens when the co-host is missing. Jim Dickerson is not with us today. He is still flying around the different places all over. Okay, so the Michael Neal Band, I guess what you could do is then you could jump on YouTube if you were curious to see what what the band is all about, and which sounds pretty cool to me. And then Saturday, September 18th, there's a last-minute check-in for the barbecue cook-off. We've talked about that. And then I'm looking at 7:30 a.m. And by the way, the weather, if you don't know, is going to be really nice this weekend. Brian's shaking his head. And we'll have, I'm sure, a live weather report tomorrow evening that I'm looking forward to, right? Well, maybe not live, but we'll have a weather report for you for the weekend. But here's something else that sounds really good. At 7:30 a.m., and this is Saturday, September 18th, 7:30 a.m., a country breakfast. Get out of town at the VFW Hall.
Yes.
What about it?
Yeah, they do that every year for us. And a lot of people like to go down and enjoy the breakfast, and then it's close to the parade route. They can go over and enjoy the parade right after they get through with their breakfast.
And then at 8:30, this is the big one right here, the Mr. and Miss Jesse James. Now, talk about that. I mean, this sounds really cute, Dixie.
Yeah, this is adorable. They have different age groups for the little kids, and they dress up in their country gear.
Yeah, sort of the period, sort of Western style gear. And I've got to see a picture here, which was really cute.
Yes, and then they have judge, and they have the ability to ride on the float in the parade after they get done.
Yeah.
And, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. And then, boy, they do cover you really do cover in this brochure, the cook-off. So it's hard for me to get away from it here. But I do see there's another thing, Frisbee Golf. Who knew? What's that all about? Frisbee Golf Tournament. Where's that?
It's at the grounds. They have a golf set up at the grounds for the Frisbee Golf.
So, yes.
Yes, it's a tournament, just like they would have a tournament of anything else.
What do you have to do to enter this?
You can enter off the website, the www.jessejames.com.
Very cool.
The information's out there.
I like that. And as you pointed out, yes, and this is all on the ground, so once you get in there, you can wander around and witness all of these events over the weekend. And again, okay, and we talked about the parade just a minute ago, Dan. This theme this year is Show Your Purple and Gold Pride. So the theme is Kearney Bulldogs. And how did that happen? How did that come about?
Well, we have different themes every year, and we discuss it throughout the wintertime as we're planning, and people come up with ideas, and this is just one of the ideas that we all sat down and talked about and decided to do.
It is not hard to show your bulldog pride here in this town, no doubt about that. Arts and Crafts Alley open to the public. That's it says it begins at 11, but I would imagine people will be setting up before then. What about at the Arts and Crafts? What sort of things could folks expect to see there?
Well, that's Gerri's deal.
Okay.
She does a very fine job of getting these people together. There's a lot of little everything there. You can walk around and shop and buy some stuff if you'd like and look at some things. But it's a nice little event for people to come in and look around.
Sounds fun. We're going to have Gerri on in just a minute here, and we're going to trade out here, trade seats. And afternoon entertainment, I see Woodchucks from Liberty. That's at 12 p.m. We talked about that, correct? That's the same. That's the axe throwing and other weapon throwing. No chainsaws in this one, so leave your chainsaw at home. We'll be throwing no chainsaws. And
one of the biggest things that we've got coming this year is the largest kite show.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The huge kites that you see. They've got a website that you can go to and look for them. I don't know what that website is right now.
I don't either.
It's Great American Kites and Events, but they're going to put on a really great show for us.
I've seen these. I'm familiar. Yeah, I mean, and it's really amazing to see that they actually they are so large. You wonder how in the world they're airborne. You know, So very cool. Well, that sounds like a fun thing to bring your camera. That's the kind of thing you'd want to take some videos of. Yeah. Barnyard Buddies. Oh, here's something here. The Mechanical Bull Ride presented by Roy Dean. Is this the sort of thing that you need rodeo experience, or that just any schlupp could get up on one of these things? What's that all about?
Oh, I think anybody can ride if you want to ride.
Even Brian?
Even Brian.
All
Yeah,
right.
should give it a whirl.
I'd like to see that. Magic Mike the Magician. I've seen this guy, I believe. Doesn't he? He's from Liberty?
He's been at our festival several times.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And he does some rope tricks. Is that right, Dan?
He walks around and he does some amazing things to entertain people. I believe he's from Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not the same guy I'm thinking of. All right.
Yes, people enjoy him.
Is he kind of a comedian?
He's very much a comedian.
All right. So is Brian. I know. I like that about him. He rolled his eyes at me. Okay, well, that's pretty cool, and that starts at 12:30. There's a Tumbleweed Crossing Wild West comedy. See how funny this is, Brian? Yeah. You're not helping me here, buddy. You are not helping me. Okay, so what's the Wild West comedy? Was that the shootout? Or,
yes.
Oh, okay, so same thing. I see Jerry's kind of... I know, Jerry. We're going to have you on here in a minute. She keeps kind of rolling her head around the camera here. So, yeah, yes, that's what it is. And then we've got the Studio 320 Dancers. I like that. We're familiar with those. The Cornhole Tournament, which that's typically... this is big. This is a big sport. I mean, you see them out at Arrowhead. You see them everywhere. And do you have to sign up for that as well? I guess you do. Or can you?
Yes,
okay.
you do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all of these tournaments and competitions then basically get on the website, and the website is what?
www.jessejamesfestival.com.
I knew that. My computer just went to sleep, so yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate that, Dixie. Co-ed sand volleyball tournament, we see that as well. Magic Mike, the Magician. So I see they repeat these acts. So I see how there's the pattern here. Mm-hmm. So if you don't get there in time for the first shows or competitions, in many cases, it'll rerun. Now, that's not true for every single event, but just know that, in fact, where can people get this brochure? Or I guess this is basically, is this information all on the website? Yes. Everybody's shaking their head yes.
It definitely is.
You're all so positive. I like that. Okay. And anything else, because I can go through this list, and we're kind of doing it, but I know there was a couple of things. I mean, one was that you still had time to sign up for the barbecue contest, but there was something else, Dan, I think that you mentioned that you wanted to make sure and get out there.
The sand volleyball as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's a team tournament, right?
Yes, it is.
So anybody, if you think you got the wherewithal to get out there and, put your Oakley sunglasses on and your jams and get out there and
just like the Olympians.
Right, exactly right. All right. We're talking to the wonderful folks from the Jesse James Festival Committee, and what a bunch of great folks who work very hard to put this thing on. The 50th year, no kidding. It has been fantastic. We will come back. Thank you so much. We're going to change chairs here, so thank you, Dixie, and thank you, Dan, both of you, for being on the show. Dixie Thomas, she's the treasurer. Dan Colt is the president of the Jesse James Festival Committee. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. The world has become fast-paced, and we understand that you are busy. That's why we offer a banking experience that's as simple and stress-free as can be. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. You may just be getting off the ground or ready to move into your brick and mortar building. Kearney Trust will provide you and your business with the resources you need to succeed. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
Oh, wow, we're back. Here we are. Welcome back to Kearney Live. Now Brian laughs. See, this makes him laugh. Nothing else I do. Only when I'm caught, when I'm compromised. Anyway, welcome back to Kearney Live. That is Brian Watts. He's the producer engineer of this very show. There he is. Look at the guy. Yep, that's him. He's got this. He drives the bus of this program, the figurative bus, but he has a real steering wheel in front of him. It's one of those little steering wheels you used to see on those car seats. That's what he's got. Right? Got a little horn on it that he can honk. He's shaking his head, yes. And I am happy and pleased to announce that we've got Gerri Spencer, who's sitting right here. And Gerri, so I told you they love you. See, Gerri is. You have an historical perspective of this, and I know Dan had mentioned and helped talk about the generation or two old that this festival, the Jesse James Festival, is. We're talking 50 years. And Gerri, I know you've got a list of things to talk about as it applies to the historical aspect of this.
I do, and I won't cover this whole list, but I did a little research, and I also chatted and basically harassed a few people around town for their thoughts, their memories of the festival. And as we know, obviously the festival started in 1970, and it was Fanny Shanks, who was the wife of Wade Shanks. She was also stepmother to Gerri Shanks, who recently passed, that got this started.
Wow.
And she had a lot of wonderful ideas about what the festival could be and should be. The Downtown Merchants Association, which is kind of a pre-runner to our current Kearney Chamber of Commerce, they were very much involved. They played a big part in it. Any of you that do Facebook may have recently seen a few photos that one of our local barbers, Daryl McClung, posted, and it was a really cute picture of Dave's Drive-In back in the day with a hitching post by it. And the Kearney Merchants Association encouraged every business to participate in the festival, and a majority of them had those hitching posts in front of their businesses. Plus, they would do things like the red handkerchief or wear cowboy hats. And so if you came to Kearney to visit and enjoy our festival, you realize that the whole town was very much involved back then. Jim Eldridge, our current city administrator, plus that barber I was just talking about, Daryl McClung, they both participated. They marched in that very first parade. One had the trombone, and the other one had a tuba, a sousaphone back then. So, and at that time when they first started, the festival was held in April.
I see.
Which is our area's most rainiest month.
Yes. Good
so
point.
they changed it to the second rainiest month of the year, which is September. But they didn't change it until 1980. And in 1980 is when they added the rodeo. Mm-hmm. That's when they also changed it, like I said, to September. And And at that point, it was a couple of gentlemen by the name of Keith Doss and Rich Weber who were very much a big part of this, and they wanted top-notch entertainment for the festival. So they spent a fair amount of money every year, just like we do today, but they spent a chunk, and they brought well-known acts such as Shoji Tabuchi. He was a Japanese fiddler. He may still be playing down at Branson.
That's right. Yes, yes.
So he was here in our town. We also had Barbara Mandrell. So the festival has always gone out of their way to bring quality entertainment to our community, and I am very appreciative of that. The Jesse James Festival was incorporated on August 14th of 1981 by Keith Doss, Rich Weber, and Chasten Parks. They were 3 of the 12 of the newly formed board of directors. In 1987, Carol, and I'm not going to say her last name correctly, and I apologize, but it's Lalamondier. She moved the festival to the Shanks property where the major home is, and it was out there for quite some time. And in that particular decade, Jim Smith also played a big role, a pivotal role in the festival. In 1993, Tom Sloan Jr. was instrumental in getting the festival moved again to 130 acres just north of the city. And at that point, the Jesse James Festival Committee purchased our current location.
I had no idea.
Which is the Jesse James Festival grounds. In 1999, Tom Miller, who was the local police officer, he had previously been a business owner and owned a pizza place here, but he also then was a local police officer. He really pushed. He was very instrumental in pushing to have the city buy this property from the festival. The city agreed to buy it, and at that point then the festival had a permanent, perpetual agreement with the city, and basically it's ours for 2 weeks, the festival ground is. And those 2 weeks each year then, like Dan said, all of these volunteers come together. They give up a lot of their time, and not just those 2 weeks, but it is all year long, whether it's in January and they attend the Missouri Association of Fairs and Festivals, but all of the prep work and planning that goes into making it the success that it is. I also would like to note that Bill Dane, in 1999, when the city agreed to buy this, Bill Dane at that time, he was on the park board. He was a member of the Kearney Parks and Rec Board, so he was part of it at that point.
Fantastic. That's the sort of thing that you, especially if it's the first time that you've visited Kearney, or in particular this Jesse James Festival, that this has a rich history.
A very long,
yes.
I think it's very interesting, and you can really see who has stepped up through the years, because it is a lot of work. Kudos to these 3 people sitting beside me for all the years worth of effort that they have put into this. But these are leaders of the community that are willing to put in this effort and time.
Which doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, in my short, 5-year association with the city of Kearney since the radio station's been here, these are the kind of people that are here. These are the kind of people that we've met and we continue to meet. So none of this I find the least bit surprising. It's one of the things I think that makes Kearney special.
I absolutely agree.
People are involved, and they're not afraid to raise their hand and say, "Yeah, okay, yes, I'll be a part of that. I will help."
Yes,
and it's really great. So we really appreciate. I would agree. I appreciate the folks that are doing this. Let me get real quickly with Stephanie DePringer, and who is also with us here. And you are, Stephanie, the chairperson of the 5K 10K. Now, that has been run. So sorry if you missed it, but that was last week. But anything you can tell us about that, or as far as results, or how the thing went off, or let us know.
Well, it turned out better than we thought it was going to. Races have been kind of low since the COVID
right.
took place. So we were pretty low on numbers about 2 weeks before, but then our runners came through and we had a great race on Saturday morning. So
there were a lot of same-day sign-ups then?
Yes,
we
had quite a few same-day sign-ups. But we'll be back next year. So remember, it's the second Saturday in September. So come out and run with us next year.
Now, is this, and I think a lot of runners would want to know, are these sanctioned events? In other words, is the distance sanctioned by the United States Track and Field Association or anything like that? Or is it?
Yes and no. We aren't sanctioned every year. We had it done several years ago, so we kind of just know where the markers are.
I see.
You're not going to qualify for the Boston Marathon in this one.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So don't get your hopes up, you runners out there. Stop running. Slow down a little.
And you can walk. You don't have to be a runner to be in this race. So.
Yes. Can you walk slowly?
You can walk slow. If you can get done in about 2 hours, that'll be great.
That's the cutoff then, right?
Because I'm going home. Because I got to get ready for that Derby that night.
Yes. Now, but wouldn't it be great if at the end of your run that you could just cross the finish line and go straight to the barbecue competition?
Well, if it was the same weekend, that would be great.
That's right. I'm just throwing that out there, Dan. Well, you might maybe consider that next year.
We used to finish the race at the graveyard, and I decided that was pretty sad, so we better move it to the other end.
I don't know if I should laugh at such a thing, but that's kind of funny. Yes. Well, okay. So where does it finish now?
Well, now we finish in the public parking lot across from Fat Boys, is what I tell everybody. But so we start at the graveyard and you run back. So.
All right. Well, yeah.
Where to go from that?
I know. I think there's a bunch of jokes right there. I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't know, but that is funny. So what else? Are you involved in other things? Stephanie, and listen, I know I've worked on race committees before. I used to do a lot of volunteer work with the YMCA. I know that's not an easy thing to do. Are you involved in other things? Or
I am. I'm part of the Optimist club also, and we're kind of a small group. But you'll always find us in our food trailer out. We'll be at the rodeo. Food again. So, and then we do the Derby. That was also last Saturday. So
okay, the demo Derby, right?
Yep, demo Derby.
Right. So you can smash up a car.
Yep.
By driving it into another car.
Yep.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I agree. I mean, I think that's the sort of thing that, people, especially kids, my brother and I were fascinated by that as kids, the whole idea of cars inside of a ring. And this I assume this goes on the fairgrounds up there, just north of town here. And yes, that's
that just happened last Saturday.
Yeah,
so you've missed that also.
Okay, well, there's a lot of things I miss. But yes, I was that kid in class. But it's the sort of thing that you just can't imagine that, wow, there really is. This is an event. It's a real event.
It's a big event. People take off work for this. They plan their whole weekend or maybe vacation time around it. Derbies are a big deal.
Okay, so these are people who would come from around the nation to right?
I don't know if it's around the nation, but we've got several counties coming.
It's definitely regional. And
yes.
You haven't experienced something until you have been and done this. And it starts off slow and easy with the little kids and the little kids in their Power Wheels doing a demo Derby.
Oh, I see.
Oh, my goodness. Year before last, a little girl in her pink Barbie car. Oh, she was ferocious. It's a lot of fun.
That's funny. It's hard to put ferocious and a Barbie car together.
I know.
But I think I can understand that. That makes sense.
That's why you have to go and see it.
And getting back to the food thing, though, this is the big Optimist food truck that you see. It was at the Bull Ride. Is that right?
Yep, we were at the Bull Ride.
Yep.
And then we were at the Derby, and we'll be at the rodeo.
Right. And so I wish we had a picture of that. But if you haven't seen this, I mean, it is the most. It's a restaurant on wheels.
That's right. And I'm the expert food, sandwich wrapper. So that's my job.
Wow.
I'm
cool.
in charge of that.
Now, and again, this is one of those deals where, and no kidding, we mentioned it, and I think it's important. Do you take credit cards?
We do.
Oh,
we
wow.
are
Okay.
uptown. You can bring your credit card and run it through.
See how it's done, Dan? See what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay, so we get it. So I'm giving you a hard time. But, okay, well, that's good to know because, people like me that don't carry cash, and sometimes I get hungry. Or I might like something a little cold to drink. I think
we just have soda and water. But the Knights usually sets up right next to us. So if you need an adult beverage, go next door.
Yeah, that's right. Larry Pratt has hooked me up a time or two. I remember that. Yeah, he did at the bull ride one time. That's I told him the other day. I said that every time I see you, I think of that time when you got me some beers, which was really nice. Anything else that you're working on? Then Stephanie, I think does that wrap it up for you?
That wraps it up. I get that 5K out of the way, then I just wrap up the hamburgers the rest of the weekend.
And so, but this is a thing that it just really, and thank you, and all of these people I know in this room, thank you for the help and the time that you put into this thing, because it is, you can't put on a race, especially two of them, a 5K and a 10K, because when you talk about all the timing that's involved and getting people race results and things of that nature, right? And those things it is a big deal. Plus, there's insurance and things like that. So it's not you don't just say show up and run from here to there. No, it doesn't work like that, right? Just give me just a slice of what's involved in managing a race.
Well, we have a timing company. I have to work with them all year to get that set up. We have online registration, so people register online, and then I have to order T-shirts, and then we have our sponsors. So we're always, trying to get sponsors and work with them. And then there's the setup, and then I don't know. There's just lots involved.
Right.
I make my whole family help me. So.
Well, it's on the road too, so you've got police involved,
yes,
right?
We have
block traffic.
Yep, they have come out and helped us greatly for many years.
Love those folks over there, by the way. Yep. Well, very good, and thank you for that, Gerri. We've got a few minutes left here, 5 minutes or so. I know you've been involved with this for a long time, and you and I have talked about how I think we're in agreement that there are folks in Kearney that just sort of want to, I guess, separate themselves from that whole notion of Jesse James and so on and so forth. I find it fascinating. As I was speaking with Dan, I think, I'm a big fan of the reenactments and things of that nature, and obviously we're going to have some of that with a little humor mixed in here. It's the what did you call it again? The comedy gunfight, which is
it is
right. Okay, I know. It's just two words you just don't see together very often.
Well, it is interactive. It is family friendly. It should be a lot of fun. They are in costume. As Dixie said, there's a wonderful backdrop of an old-fashioned, town. It will be a lot of fun, very interesting. You definitely need to make a point to come out and see it. I wanted to make sure that everybody knows on Sunday that there are a few more different things going on. For example, our youth fishing tournament. Also, we have a cowboy church on Sunday morning. There are just so many different things. Any of you that are feeling competitive, you need to be sure that you get your friends together and come sign up, whether it is the golf tournament or Frisbee Golf, or the sand volleyball tournament, or the cornhole tournament, or any of these things. And then there are so many different shows to see. There's a kite show, there's a magic show, there's magician, the comedy show, there is tumbleweed, crossing, rawhide and dusty show. There's just so many things
I
that
see
are going
that.
on.
And Stephanie had sort of motioned to me to turn the next page on the brochure, you big dummy. And I see that on Sunday, see, everybody, right here, on the back page of this brochure that you don't have, but I bet you can find these events on jessejamesfestival.com. Sunday, September 19th, is a day full of all of the same things, for the most part, that we just spoke of. And I see there's one here. It's the Rawhide and Dusty Show. I'm not sure what that is, but and the kids' boot scramble. Now, what's that all about?
It is part of the rodeo.
Oh, okay.
It's all part of the rodeo, and it is just part of the kids' portion, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it is.
And dirty socks.
Okay, I'm starting to get an idea.
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
All right, I'm starting to get an idea of what that's all about. And kids celebration, family interactive show. Wild West Comedy. We talked about that. That's the Tumbleweed Crossing, which I assume is the name of the comedy troupe. Then I guess.
Yes.
So many things. Or Nick's Barnyard Buddies Petting Zoo too, which is just awesome for the kids. And you know, kids just love that sort of thing.
It's a great weekend for the
Yes.
whole family.
Yes.
You can come out in the morning. You can pretty much walk around this 130 acres all day long.
Shout out to Jay Bettis too, because I think this is his cowboy church, isn't it? Because that's the High Point Arena Cowboy Church. Yeah. So he's bringing that in. Good for you, Jay. Appreciate that. And that's at 10 a.m. So get up there. That's a good alternative to church if you want to be a part of this.
One last thing I'd like to mention.
Yes, do.
I would definitely like to give a big shout out to North Kansas City Beverage and Kearney Trust Company and all of our local businesses that sponsor us. And, you know, thank you.
I couldn't agree more, and we wouldn't be here if it weren't for those kinds of sponsors, and certainly Kearney Trust. Thank you very much, who's been with us here on Kearney Live. Used to be Live with the Mayor. Now it's Kearney Live, and we appreciate you and all of your support. Thank you so much to all of these wonderful folks, Dixie Thomas, Dan Colt, Stephanie DePringer, and Gerri Spencer for being with us today. This has been a lot of fun, folks. It's going to be a great weekend. Get out there to the Jesse James Festival all weekend long, beginning Thursday. So tomorrow. So get online, jessejamesfestival.com. Check it out. Be there. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you next week.